Yo, what's good, YouTube? ZAMCRO here, aka Scoot, back with the International Trainers League, Season 5, Round 1 of playoffs in the quarterfinals against Reckless Bat, aka Nick, coach of the Texas Tyrantrums, and of course, we're always Scoot ZAMCRO, coach of the Blackmont Cougars. We played Nick twice this season. He won our first match, I won our second match. I think both were 2-0 victories in his favor and then in my favor. I'm not going to go over our teams. I did that twice. You can go watch those other battles if you want to know our full rosters, or check out the ITL Twitter and check the link, document link on there, and then check out our teams. Of note, though, Hoopa is a potential Z-Move user, and Lucario as well, potential Z-Move user. And like I said, we've played twice, so I have a little bit of expectations on what's good against my team from his side. And I got the expected Settlements, the Heat Ram, the Clefable, the Jolteon, and the Hoopa, all of which come. And then a filler mon between Scolipede, Hariyama, and Serena actually comes. So I'm pretty prepared for these 6 mons, as well as being prepared for some other mons, as I'll go over my team in just a second. I expect the Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Iron Tail on Settlements, Stealth Rocks, Roar, Fire type attack, and Earth Power on the Heat Ram. Calm Mind, Moonblast, Ice Beam, Moonlight, or Calm Mind, Moonblast, Thunderbolt, Moonlight, or Thunder Wave in place of either Thunderbolt or Ice Beam on Clefable, as well as Specs Jolteon with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Ice. Now that could vary between a Life Orb or Expert Belt or Wise Glasses or Magnet even. Expected a Banded, Scarf, or Z-Move Hoopa. Most likely Band though, because it just runs through my only answer, which is Florges. And then on the filler mon, like Scolipede, could be a Toxic Spike variant, could be a Speed Passer, could be just a offensive Swords Dance. Serena could be Assault Vest, Rapid Spin, or Scarf U-Turn, Assault Vest U-Turn, Rapid Spin, Grass type attack. A lot of different things that could be. And Hariyama could just be, fat, offensive, thick fat for Sneasel, or Guts just for general offense with the fake out, close combat, ice punch, and maybe knockoff or something for Victini. But yeah, I thought those would be the mons he brings, and he does bring a very similar team, like I was mentioning. We bring a Victini with U-Turn, Searing Shot, Psyshock, and Glaciate, Timid, 252 Speed, 252 Special Attack, and Force Death. All the special attacks needed and all the speeds needed, so I didn't really come up with a creative EV spread there. Manaphy, so I guess it does have a interesting EV spread. Timid Nature, plus 36 speed, so I can outspeed max speed Serena, as long as it's not Choice Scarf. 204 HP, 216 defense, and 52 special defense. So I'm really, really, really bulky. I can take just about any hit from any mon. I can live a +2 Dragon Claw or a +2 Fly from Settlements, which is pretty important. Just general bulk overall. Scald, Knockoff, Ice Beam, and Toxic is my 4 moves. Next up is going to be Needle Queen, which is Stealth Rocks, Toxic Spikes, Earth Power, and Sludge Wave with 12 HP EVs, 12 defense, 116 special attack, 140 special defense. So I can take on Jolteon a little bit better. 228 plus speed with the Timid Nature, Sheer Force ability, and the Sugarberry. I forgot to mention that Manaphy is leftovers, so longevity is important. Zapdos is a U-Turn, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ice Tailwind set with the Choice Scarf, 4 attack EVs, even with the Timid Nature, so that I can do a little bit more to Hoopa, potentially Oko. 152 defense EVs, so I can take rocks damage, and a +1 Dragon Claw from Salamence. 100 special attack EVs, allows me to just get general, good damage off with the Thunderbolt and the Hidden Power Ice. And Tailwind for speed control, mid or late game. So pretty fun Zapdos, probably Tailwind can be a thing. Next up is going to be Lucario, one of my Life Orb breakers. Initially I wanted this thing to be the Stellium Z, but you can't actually trade a Stellium Z crystal through the game, and I'm not far enough in the moon to have access to the Z crystals, well, Stellium Z anyway. So I opted to take Life Orb off of one of my OU teams and stick it on this Lucario. So I had the Sword Stance, Close Combat, Bullet Punch, and Extreme Speed. I thought this would be just as strong. The only thing that's different is that I miss out on potentially just straight up knocking the Clefable out with the Corkscrew Crash. It's basically an Iron Tail, because Bullet Punch with the Z Crystal becomes 100 base power, and it's basically Iron Tail. So I'm Jolly, 236 plus speed, so I can outspeed Adamant, Salamence, and outspeed Hoopa. Basically outspeed everything on his team that's not Scarfed and that's not called Jolteon. Justified ability, 12 HP, 252 attack, 4 defense, and 4 special defense. This thing just runs through his team late game if everything's weakened. And the Serena's gone because it does have the Queenly Majesty, which blocks priority, kind of like the Psychic Terrain with Tapu Lele. Last but not least is a Life Orb Sneasel, another breaker. Revenge kills the Salamence if it's not Yachi Berry. Same with Serena if it's not Choice Scarf. Can get the chip on Jolteon with the Ice Shard. Got the Poison Jab, Knock Off, Icicle Crash, and the Ice Shard, like I said. Pretty much walled by Heat Rain, especially if it loses its item. 140 plus speed, so I speed creep a Salamence just by 1 point. Jolly didn't really need to speed creep anything else. Jolteon's probably speed creeping Sneasel. Same with Scolipede. 36 HP and 76 defense, so I can take physical attacks from Hoopa just a little bit better, especially Dark type attack, and 252 attacks, so I can hit as hard as possible. If I lose my item, then I do have the pickpocket to steal an item, so maybe that can come into play or something. Poison Jab is there for the Clefable. Icicle Crash. Poison Jab can also hit this arena pretty hard, so I don't have to risk the crash late game. Nox there for just general stab, Jellicent's a problem. Kind of walled by Hariyama as well, but he doesn't bring that, and the rest of my team can deal with that pretty well. So that being said, I guess we can talk about my team a little bit. Victini can Oko Hoopa, great momentum with the U-turn. Juno Stab with the Searing Shock and the Searing Shock and the Side Shock. Can spam my fire type attacks. Can potentially speed tie with it is a speed tie. Can potentially win a speed tie with a Dragonette's Mince. Hit it with a Glaciate. Knock it out if it's not Yachi Berry. Side Shock over Side Kick, so Calm Mind Clef. Can't straight up just destroy me. I am getting damage off with the Side Shock. As with Psychic, damage would be smaller and smaller and smaller with every Calm Mind. Faster than all of his mons, besides Choice Scarf Jolteon and speed boosting Scolipede or Quick Feet Jolteon even. Can you turn around, pop air balloons, knock out the Hoopa? Just doing really good mon against his team in my opinion, even though Heat Rain is a problem. And like I said, Heat Rain walls my Nidoqueen Queen if it's air balloon. I mentioned this in my Paceman team builder that I sent to the Akki and Gypsy recorded this live, so I sent them a Paceman of my team so they'd know what I was bringing before the game. And I did mention that air balloon Tran walls my Nidoqueen Queen so that dual Scarf U-turners can pop that balloon. So we got defensive Manaphy, very bulky with General Scald Burns, General Stab with the Scald, Ice Beam for Mince and Serena, Knockoff for the Jellicent, and General Item Riddance, Toxic for everything not named Tran and Scolipede. I'm expecting the Unaware Clef, so Toxic's good. can wear it down, since it couldn't be Magic Art if it is unaware. It can't be both, thankfully. Speed creeps, a max speed Serena, and I can eat a +2 Dragon Claw or +2 Fly, so that's pretty interesting in my opinion. Nidoqueen is a Sugarberry. It is my designated rocker, potential lead, but like I said, I am fearing the Air Balloon Train, so I don't want to lead with my Nidoqueen. Dual Stab with Earth Power and Sludge Wave was my best set in my opinion. Special Attack Investment allows me to best the Tran and the Clefable Core, unless it's Calm Mind up a couple times, because I think I still 2-hit KO it behind one Calm Mind, and like I said, Air Balloon's a problem. But if it is Air Balloon, then I'm not fearing the Chople Berry, so that Lucario can run through it. Also won't fear like a Scarf or anything. And I got the Toxic Spikes here on Nidoqueen, so I can, if the Scolipede doesn't come, then I can set that up, pressures the Serena, or Braviary or Salamence to defog, or Serena to Rapid Spin. And like I said, my bulk beats Jolteon. If it's locked into Hidden Power Ice, I can then switch into my Manaphy or my Victini or even my Lucario. If it's locked into Shadow Ball, Sneasel can eat 1 hit, probably 2 hits, because I do have a little bulk investment. And if he locks himself into Thunderbolt, then Nidoqueen can come in pretty solidly. I guess that's just about it. The rest of my team was pretty much explained already. I guess we are 12 minutes in or something, so I don't really have much else to say. No, I guess we hop into the battle. Like I said, I'm going to lead with Victini, because he does burn, the team that I expected, or a team similar to I expected. So I'm going to lead Victini just in case he is Air Balloon Train, and he does reveal that right off the bat. So I'm just going to pop it here with the U-turn. Now I debated on going straight into Nidoqueen here, but in case he went for Earth Power right off the bat and was speedy, I didn't want to risk, Nidoqueen getting 2-hit KO'd right off the bat. So I figured I could go into Manaphy, and if he set up his rock, so be it. I can't really get rid of him anyway. And here I'm gonna go straight for the I believe I go straight for the knockoff, or I go straight for the Toxic. That's what it is. Go straight for the Toxic here, predicting him to switch into either his Serena or his Clefable to be unaware, or to Revenge Kill immediately. I'm actually going to make another prediction right off the bat here as well. I'm going to predict him to not go for the Grass type attack, and I'm going to click the knockoff. As he goes into Jolteon here, he's going to take the knockoff, but not relatively well, because he is kind of frail. He does I do get rid of the Expert Belt, so that lets me know that he wasn't going to be too big of a problem to begin with, but it's nice to get rid of that. He's going to double out here into Salamence, predicting me to go into my Nidoqueen, I do believe, but I'm going to predict that since I do have Nidoqueen and I do have a lot of switch-ins. I'm just going to click the Scald. I do 100% live any hit bar a crit from the Jolteon, so I wasn't afraid to make this play here. If I got the burn on the Salamence, that would have been amazing. Here I'm going to click the Ice Beam as he reveals Toxic. So at this point, I'm thinking he's a defensive set. And he reveals the Yachi Berry, so it's still going to do a hell of a lot. And I'm basically at full here. I'm poisoned, but still basically at full. Just going to go ahead and click knockoff, I believe. As he goes back into his heat rant. So I was expecting the Serena to come out potentially, or the Clefable, so I go for the knockoff there. Here I am thinking he is going to double on my Scald into this arena. So I'm going to click Ice Beam as he does switch out into Serena. And I am going to catch him with the Ice Beam here. So I'm just not switching out with my Manaphy so far. Really making him, conditioning him up quite a bit. I do believe I finally switch out right here. Predicting him to get aggressive now that I've stayed in quite a bit with my Manaphy. I'm going to hard switch out to my Zapdos, as I can take rocks and can take any one hit from this thing easily. But he does U-turn out. Another reason I switched on that turn was because the toxic damage was building up, and eventually I wouldn't be able to take a hit from the Salamence anymore. I didn't want to be at that low of health, so I just should go ahead and switch out to my Zapdos. He switches out to the Tyran on the U-turn, gets the momentum back. I'm just going to U-turn out as well. Now he doesn't know I'm Scarf because I naturally outspeed. Can go right back into Manaphy here, take rocks damage. I'm going to dodge this Magma Storm, but I don't think that's too big of a deal because it would have did like, I don't know, 10 or 15%. And then like 8 or 9% or something. So in all, he missed out on about, 45% right there at maximum, and that's including toxic damage. So I am going to fire off a Scald as he predicts me to over predict and go for maybe the Ice Beam or the knockoff again. But I did just click the Scald there, and now I've conditioned him up pretty well. So I'm going to click. Actually double out here, predicting him to switch out into Serena. I go into Nidoqueen, and he actually goes out into Clefable, which is huge for me. This is really, really good because now I can just fire off a Sludge Wave. Actually, I set up my Stealth Rocks. I could have just thrown off a Sludge Wave there. I'm trying to think of what I would have gained if I would have just Sludge Waved and then set up my Stealth Rocks. Because I know I wouldn't take this next hit here. I predicted the Earthquake here and knew I would live it. It would do probably 45% or something. But he just drops the Draco and I take like 60% instead. But I am going to be able to knock him out here, get the Sludge Wave knockout. So down goes the Mints. So pretty comfortable at this point. Now, now that Salamence is gone, I don't mind sacking off Manaphy because it's put in a lot of work. Weakened the Tran, weakened the Serena, weakened the Salamence. Just did a great job so far. Knocked off Jolteon's item. Very good stuff from Manaphy so far. So thank you, Manaphy, for being great. But Hoopa is a problem. He does outspeed me. Now, all that means is that he is faster than my Nidoqueen, faster than my Manaphy, faster than max speed Serena. But I'm Choice Scarf Victini, so I can go right for the U-turn here, as he fears the Scarf, meaning that he could still be Scarf, I guess. But the damage he did on Manaphy reveals that he's not banded knockoff, and he didn't show a Life Orb. He's not. I guess he could be Expert Belt since it wouldn't really judge the damage on Manaphy. I do U-turn out to knock out the Hoopa, but he switches into Tran, takes no damage from the U-turn. As I go into my Lucario here, knock him out with the Close Combat, reveal that I'm Life Orb. So that's pretty solid. Now he can go out into Serena here. Revealing that he's probably Choice Scarf. I can't knock him out with the Bullet Punch or the Extreme Speed, and I don't want to take a fighting type attack, so I'm going to switch out here into Zapdos. And he's actually going to just click U-turn here again, and he's going to get momentum on my Zapdos. and he's going to go into Jolteon. Here I'm going to debate on my play for a minute, and I'm ultimately going to decide that I can switch in on rocks one more time and be at 4%, but I decided to just go ahead and click Tailwind, because if he goes for Hidden Power, I was predicting my Nidoqueen or Thunderbolt, he's going to knock out my Zapdos either way, so I can just go ahead and click Tailwind. That way I don't lose any turns. I still have all 3 turns of Tailwind left, so I can go into Lucario here, click Close Combat, knock the Jolteon out, or 2-hit KO anything that wants to come in. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to click Close Combat here, knock out the Jolteon. And now here's where Tran and Jolteon would have both dropped to Close Combat with or without the Life Orb. But here's where things get interesting. He brings in the Clefable. If I had Corkscrew Crash, I would go for it here, but I don't have it. So I'm just going to click Bullet Punch, and he's actually going to double out into the Queenly Majesty here, the Serena, and its ability is going to, reject my Bullet Punch, and meaning this thing would have died to the Corkscrew Crash, no problem, and I would have lost my Z move, so I wouldn't have been able to take out the Clef like I wanted to, but that's okay. I'm going to go to quick Close Combat here, because even if that thing's Scarfed, I'd outspeed under the Tailwind, and I'm going to get a little damage off here on the Clefable. And now Bullet Punch is a roll here, so I'm just going to click it. As my Tailwind pitters out. Now, like I said, I'm just going to click Bullet Punch here. It's a roll, unless he's max defensive, but it looks to be still a roll. Now, I do not get the roll. He's going to be able to Moonlight up, get his HP back here, and now I'm going to hard switch out into Nidoqueen, because I can't afford to let him start Calm Minding up, because then I just lose at that point. Probably. Not necessarily, but probably lose if I let him Calm Mind up. He does Moonlight again here, and I haven't revealed an item on Nidoqueen, so I don't know if he knows that I'm Sugar Berry and not Life Orb, but Life Orb, Sheer Force, Sludge Wave does a ton, so I assume he's going to switch out here, but I'm just going to click it anyway. He goes into the Serena, it's going to drop to the Sludge Wave. And now it's basically coming down to who has more sacks for the offense that the other coach, has on the squad. So I need a sack for this, and then he needs a sack for what I bring in, then I need a sack for when this comes back in, and he needs a sack for what I bring in. Goes back and forth on that for a minute, I guess, just for a few turns actually. He goes for the Dark Pulse here. My bulk investment should have, ate that up, but it is a critical hit. And here I'm going to click Knockoff, and I'm going to regret it so bad, because I wanted to cancel it and click Poison Jab as soon as I clicked it, because Poison Jab was my best play there. A little damage on Hoopa wouldn't have been bad, and 2-hit KO on this thing would have been phenomenal. So misplay on my part cost me. Really wanted to cancel that and click the Poison Jab, because now, as you can see right here with this Poison Jab, it would have been a 2-hit KO potentially, and that would have been nice, because it would have left him like, well, he'd been dead, so yeah, it would have been definitely a 2-hit KO. So I'm going to bring back in Nidoqueen here and click the Sludge Wave again, and it's basically checkmate at this point, as I do have one more sack, so it's basically a checkmate here. I'm going to click the Sludge Wave as he goes into the Hoopa, not wanting to risk his Clefable yet, knowing that Hoopa can take the hit, so now he can just click Dark Pulse. I'm going to go into Lucario to get the Justified boost on the Dark Pulse, and then, knock out this and then the Clefable. But he's actually going to reveal the Z move, and he had only revealed Knockoff and Dark Pulse so far, but he's actually going to reveal that he has a Psychic type attack, and he's going to go for the Shattered Psyche. Pretty cool animation here. and just obliterates my Lucario. But I did pick up 2 KOs. I'm not too sad about that right now. Can go into Victini here and U-turn out. As he goes into the Clefable, not wanting to lose Hoopa yet, knowing that it's his way to defeat my Nidoqueen. But I'm going to U-turn out into Nidoqueen and Checkmate. The Queen has won here because I click Sludge Wave. If he stays in, this thing drops. If he switches out, Hoopa drops, and then this thing drops. And if he stays in, this thing drops. And he has to attack me with the Hoopa. And he did reveal the Z Crystal, so I'm not afraid of Psychic Berry at this point. He does go for the Psyshock. And now Victini can come in and clean up. And now I did change Blue Flare to Searing Shot after my prep. Watched BlueVictiny lose to a couple misses, so I definitely didn't want to miss my move here. Just going to go straight up for the Searing Shot and going to knock this thing out and pick up the 1-0 victory against Nick. Really fun game, man. GG. Phenomenal season, man. We played 3 times, really fun stuff. All 3 matches were extremely close. And we will be moving on to the semifinals to face off against Akki VGC, coach of the Portland Crowbats. And in the other side of the bracket, Trevor beat Sebastian, and we'll move on to face Gypsy King. So the semifinals will be happening sometime this week, where we have SheerForceYT taking on Gypsy King and ZAMCRO taking on Akki VGC. So leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Stay tuned for next week's battles. Yeah, that'll be all. Pretty sure Akki and Gypsy recorded this battle live on the stream, so I want their video when it's uploaded. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.